Hi everyone, so on my last video about kind of body image, which was the accepting your body shape video, I had tons and tons of comments from you asking about your body shapes and that you weren't sure what shape you were and how to tell what body shape you have and that kind of thing. And I thought, how have I not done a video about this before? It's a really great topic and it's really interesting. So I've written myself down some notes and I'm just going to kind of talk you through how to tell what body shape you are. Now the first thing that you want to know is that there are different types of body shapes, and no one body shape is nicer than the other. All body shapes are nice. They all have their great qualities and they all have their not so great qualities, but just because you've got a certain body type doesn't mean that you should feel bad because like you've been kind of short-handed or anything. All body shapes are beautiful and you should really learn to accept the one that you have got. So that being said, there are the kind of four main different types of body shapes, which are hourglass shape, pear shaped, apple shaped and athletic shape. They're the main shapes. Obviously there are kind of other shapes and that kind of thing, but I'm just going to talk about the kind of four main shapes in this video and how to tell which one you are and that type of thing. So the first thing you really want to think about is your overall silhouette, because that is what a lot of people find confusing. Because I think what happens is you tend to sort of think about your weight and your measurements and that kind of thing, and that doesn't necessarily indicate what shape you are. You need to be thinking more about what your overall silhouette is. So if there was kind of no features on you and it was just your outline, the outline curves of your body, what would they look like? And that is what's going to really help determine what shape you are. And why do you need to know what shape you are? Because I know a lot of people sort of think that it's just rubbish, but I think if you've got a good understanding of your body shape, then you can have a better understanding of how to dress your body shape and how to dress your body shape in flattering clothes, which will then make you look and feel better. But obviously they're just guidelines. It's not, you know, the kind of fashion bible, and just because it'll say don't wear this, it doesn't mean you don't have to wear it, and it doesn't mean it can't look good on you either. For example, I'm pear shaped, which all the magazines will say do not wear skinny jeans, go for boot cut, blah blah blah. But boot cut jeans don't look good on me because I'm really short. So you have to really kind of evaluate your personal silhouette and consider things like your height and your proportions. Your proportions is key because they really make a difference to how your body looks and how your overall silhouette looks. And for example, my proportions, considering I'm a pear shape, I have got fairly okay height proportions. So I'm very short, but like my legs aren't tons longer than my upper half, and I'm not short bodied and that kind of thing. So you need to really look at your proportions and examine kind of if you are proportioned to kind of the extent of your legs being longer than your upper half, or being kind of really top heavy and that kind of thing. Then the next thing you want to remember is think about the first place you gain weight and the last place for you to lose weight, because that really helps determine your body shape. Now if you gain weight first of all on your midsection, and you can kind of diet and get slim arms, slim legs, that kind of thing, but it won't go from your stomach area, that means you are an apple shape. If, for example, like me, you're a pear shape, it means that the first place that you gain weight is your thighs, and the last place for you to lose it is, guess where? Your thighs. That's a really kind of easy indication to determine your shape. Then I'm just going to talk you through the different shapes and kind of give you examples of celebrities that have that shape and the kind of key points so you know what shape you are. The first shape is apple shape, and this basically means that you are generally larger on top than on your bottom half. So apple shaped girls tend to have slim legs but tend to be larger on their upper half. So you tend to not have a particularly defined waist. You can carry your weight around your middle. Some have big boobs, but big boobs aren't kind of the main indication of having an apple shape. It's more to do with your kind of waist definition and where you carry the main part of your weight. And most apple shaped women tend to have fairly narrow hips as well. So celebrity examples for that are Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's a great example of a apple shape, and it also just goes to show you that it's got nothing to do with weight and that kind of thing. You know, apple shape, you automatically think round, but then you think of someone like Catherine Zeta-Jones who's really slim and gorgeous, but it's just your overall silhouette, and she's an apple shape, along with Jennifer Hudson. She's an apple shape as well, and it just kind of means that you're just more top heavy and that you don't have as much of a waist definition. Then pear-shaped bodies. Pear-shaped bodies means that you're bottom heavy, so you tend to have a fairly flat stomach, a fairly narrow waist, fairly kind of small breasts, but your thighs and bum area are your kind of biggest area, and there's loads of different variations of this. When you are larger, then you can kind of seem a little bit more disproportioned, and when you're slimmer, sometimes it can kind of balance itself out and make you look a little bit more hourglass shaped, but it basically means that you just carry your weight around your bottom half, around your hips. And examples for celebrities that have bodies like that are people like Beyonce and Jennifer Lopez, because they dress in a very clever way most of the time to make themselves look more hourglass shaped, because they define their waist, which is naturally your kind of smallest part. But they also tend to have smaller boobs, if you notice it very well. And then in a minute, when I'm going to give you examples of kind of hourglass celebrities, you'll see what I mean by the difference. Then hourglass means that you have got generally large boobs, a small waist, and your hips and your boobs are kind of a similar ratio. So you've got that kind of figure of 8 body where it goes out and in and back out again. And that's the easiest way to describe it. There's loads of different types. You know, you can be a slim hourglass, you can be a larger hourglass, you can be a petite hourglass. It's just about that kind of figure of 8 silhouette. And celebrities that have bodies like that are Kelly Brook and Kim Kardashian. If you look at their bodies, they tend to be really kind of well proportioned. And Kim Kardashian can sometimes look pear-shaped depending on what she wears, but her boobs are very big and she's kind of quite in proportion with her bottom half. And Kelly Brook's a perfect example of a celebrity who's very, very well proportioned, and she has that kind of gorgeous figure of 8 silhouette. And then last but not least, we have the boyish or athletic figure. I don't like calling it boyish figure because I just think that kind of sounds a bit mean, but athletic figure means that you are kind of straight and up and down. You tend to be quite slim, you tend to kind of have quite broad shoulders and be quite toned, but you kind of have a similar boob to hip to waist ratio, and you just tend to kind of be quite straight. Examples for celebrities that have bodies like that are people like, I've written it down, who have I got that has got a body like that? Eva Longoria is a great example, because she's very, very petite as well, but she has got a very athletic figure, as does Gwyneth Paltrow. They're great examples for it. I'd written it down just because I knew that with celebrity names I'll always forget. But yeah, Eva Longoria is a great example of someone who dresses herself in a way that she tends to look quite curvy sometimes, but she's not. She's actually got a very athletic figure. So those are the kind of key points of all the different body shapes. And another thing you want to consider is height, because I know that can kind of confuse a lot of people, because technically if you're under 5'3", you're considered petite. So I'm 5'1.5". That half is very important, and I'm considered petite. But to me, petite kind of means someone that's very narrow and tiny, and I'm not. So that can kind of be quite confusing. But your height does have a lot to do with kind of your overall silhouette and that kind of thing. But you can be any height and any body shape. It's not kind of one goes with one and one doesn't go with the other. And then another thing is you can be a mixture of shapes, because you can kind of change your shape as well. So things like weight gain and things like childbirth can really change your shape. So if you were someone that had a very hourglassy shape and that you were very kind of nipped in at the waist, things like getting pregnant can change that, because your rib cage can kind of just expand a little bit and it never quite goes back to normal. I don't know if it actually technically expands or if it just looks like that, but I've got a friend who had a really tiny waist and then she lost all the weight, but her waist never went back to kind of the same measurements that she did before she had a baby. it rang, and I think I'm going to have to kind of do this part again. But yeah, that kind of can change it. But the other thing that I wanted to mention as well is don't get too caught up in trying to find out what your body shape is, because it doesn't really make that much difference. As long as you feel like you're dressing in a way that's flattering for you, then that's all that matters. And another thing that's a great tool is on the Channel 4 website, they have kind of a beauty section, which I'm going to link in the down bar, but they have kind of like a body type measurement thing where you kind of select if you've got broad shoulders, narrow shoulders, large bust, small waist, big hips, small hips, whatever, and it kind of suggests what body shape you are. But as I said, don't take it too literally, it's just a guideline, but those are my tips on how to find out what body shape you are. But if you would like me to do any videos about how to dress a certain body shape, I have done how to dress a pear shape before, so I'm going to link that in the down bar. But if you'd like me to do any other types of body shapes, then definitely let me know in the comment section, and I'll definitely do that. And another thing I just wanted to mention was, I mentioned it on my Facebook page, but I know that not everyone follows it, is that I've decided to not do the kind of what I eat videos anymore, just because I felt like they were kind of maybe a little bit controversial for younger viewers. I had a few messages from viewers who were quite young girls who wanted me to kind of tell them how to lose weight, and that they went on my diet and got migraines and that kind of thing, and I just think that that's really terrible, and I don't want to be responsible for anything like that, so I'm not going to do that anymore. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe do a few cooking videos and that kind of thing at some point, but I'm going to also take photos of my meals and post them on Instagram. So if you want to do that because you want to kind of be inspired by what other people are eating and that kind of thing, I do that. I stalk people on Instagram for food pictures, it's awful. Then I will link my Instagram user name down below so you can go and have a look at that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that it gave you answers to anything you needed, and if you've got any other requests, then definitely let me know, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!